Good morning, everybody, and happy hump day. We're getting started right away here. Some things going on. We're going to try and make some money today. Great to see all of you. Welcome to live trading. I, again, didn't get the clip ready.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are doing well on this fine hump day, January 24th. We are back for another episode of live trading. I got my man 13 in the back. Hopefully you had a great time yesterday. This staying a little bit later, that was actually pretty cool. And some of those stocks that we said might move in the afternoon, just saying that kind of happened. Did you guys check out DWAC? Absolutely nuts. Before we go ahead and get started here, just a reminder that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. This is the best prop firm out there. The team is awesome. The platform is awesome. The pool of stocks that you can trade is awesome. If you're having trouble getting over that 25K pattern day trading threshold, or you just want to use a prop firm to use your strategy, give Trade the Pool a shot. They are really awesome. You will not be disappointed. Now, let's get to the market. Let me bring on my man 13. 13, how you doing this morning?
Oh, doing all right. You know, your comment about not having that video ready almost made me spit my coffee out. So I'm glad I had some time to wipe my face off.
It's funny too. It's funny too because I'm still learning some new roles here. I'm still trying to get better at everything I do. This is just part of my personality. And I said to myself yesterday, I was like, don't make this mistake tomorrow, right? And then this morning I was like, hey, don't forget to make that mistake. Then I started thinking about what we're going to say, got it rolling, and guess what? Made the mistake again. So we're imperfect here, but we will try to be 2% better every day. Glad it at least made you laugh.
Hey, thanks, brother, man. I appreciate it. How's everybody else doing this morning?
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. First things first, let me go ahead and add Trade the Pool here. Let's do this and then this. Okay, first we'll talk about Trade the Pool. I am still carrying Zim. I'm still carrying TGTX. I'm really excited that TGTX is kind of rebounding from that sell-off. I really did think that was kind of overdone and out of place. Took the risk by holding onto it a little bit longer. Remember, I've actually shaved some of this position on the way up, so I have already paid myself a little bit, but I really want to get another big move here. Currently sitting at about 16 bucks on TGTX. Would like that to move closer to 20. And then, of course, we're also carrying the Zim swing over. We haven't added to this yet. But we'll see if this comes in. I like on the daily chart, I like that this is kind of consolidating. This gives me a little bit more confidence that we can go ahead and add to this. That being said, we're already swinging two different positions here. So, in an ideal world, we'd be able to lighten off one of those first. Okay, let's go ahead now and talk about what's going on in the market here today. I'm going to flip over to Benzinga Pro. We're, of course, going to take a look at Netflix after its earnings yesterday, but we are going to start with the SPY here today. Let me flip back over to a daily chart. You can see the SPY continues its breakout past 480. We're currently at 487, strong in the pre-market on the backs of earnings last night as well as this morning. So it looks to be like we have a green day here today. 13, you have any thoughts on what we might see in the SPY? Are you watching anything broader market related or anything like that?
I mentioned yesterday that we got that close above 485, and I thought that was a good sign for more upside. Looks like we're starting to get that now. I still think the market's pretty extended. It wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing some weakness kind of reveal itself here, but I don't really know exactly when that's going to start to take shape. I anticipated we were going to see some reversing around 480. We're up at 487 now. So yeah. I think that we're going to be getting a reversal at some point. I just don't know exactly when. We're just really extended.
Yeah, I totally agree. RSI here really hot. I thought the same thing for the record 13. I thought maybe we'd find some resistance, even if it was only for like a day and then we broke through it. I thought it might prove to be some type of resistance. It didn't. We just went through it like a hot knife through butter, as they like to say. So we'll see what the SPY brings for us today. I'm in agreement with you. I actually am starting to think about looking for some short instruments. SOXS, SQQQ, depending on how you want to play it. So we'll keep an eye on some of those as well. Would love to hear what you folks think about in terms of the broader market, and if you're trading it and how you might be trading it. Let's actually talk really quickly here about Netflix. This is one of the big movers from yesterday. We talked a little bit about this during the happy hour show. You can see we are popping here to a nice little island. It's not a new high here. Remember, Netflix down from 700 during, what was that, latter half of 2021? Yeah, November of 2021. So still down about $160 from the highs here, but a nice strong move here. Netflix shares trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 sales results and a 12.8% year-over-year increase in Q4 global streaming paid membership. So looks like Netflix is working here. Maybe is it did they really crack down on those password shares? Again, I don't have a Netflix account. Did they crack down on those? Are we seeing the results of that?
It could be a little bit of that. I don't really think that's the big impact here. The big impact was the increase in streaming paid memberships.
Yeah,
that their growth is what's driving this going up. How much higher we go, I really can't say. The fact that we have this island that you said makes it so there's a gap down situation that could occur at some point. And we're also going through some pretty heavy consolidation. Like if you look at the time period between June of 2020 to August of 2021, there's significant consolidation in the price of the stock during that time. And we're trying to make our way through that consolidated area. So I think that it might be, we might see a little bit of back and forth here at this level. If we keep on going higher, then all bets are off. This thing is really extended. I'd expect there to be some sideways action at the least.
Yeah, and regarding this consolidation area that you correctly flagged here, we're also at the top end of the range there. So that kind of adds to the fact that maybe we are due for a pullback here. Order flow trader also mentioning that and the deal with TKO. So yeah, the news from yesterday, right. WWE Raw moving to Netflix as an exclusive. I also saw a piece of news that Dwayne Johnson owns the Rock moniker now. Something like that. So he must have either traded. I got to look into exactly what that means for him, but I know that The Rock has now been tied up by Dwayne Johnson. So good stuff there. Okay.
So does that mean that the Michael Bay movie is now tied to him as well?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the, it's funny that you mentioned that because that Michael Bay film is one of my favorite films from my childhood. We were so lucky with some of the action blockbusters in the 90s. And I grew up on that stuff. The Rock I've probably seen that movie 1,000 times, not even exaggerating. I love that movie. That came first. So for me, Dwayne Johnson, he's his own thing. He's cool, but The Rock is its own thing. Sean Connery and Nick Cage, Ed Harris. I mean, I'm sorry. That holds a special place in my heart. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the morning movers here. We do have about 15 minutes until the market opens here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. Of course, the big one here, I already see a number of people in the chat talking about it. This might be the stock du jour, certainly is so far here in the pre-market. Ticker EVAX. That's Echo Victor Alpha X-Ray. This is Evaxion Biotech. You can see here we actually popped almost as high as 10. I think we printed 980s here. Came back into the VWAP. We're taking the second leg here. Soon as we got even more volume pouring in here, so we have a second leg up. It'll be interesting to see if we can actually break the top end of that first candle, that first impulse candle. We'll see if we end up getting that here. The news catalyst that's driving this here, Evaxion to develop tailored novel cancer vaccines based upon a new untapped source of AI discovered targets. Yep. So you are getting a PR there with all types of buzzwords in it. Of course, it's got AI in it, so the stock is popping near 100%. Currently up 74.8% here in the pre-market. So this is moving up here. I see Tuna saying this is a split play. So perhaps this was also a reverse split recently. ADS ratio change. Bang. So we had news from January 22nd on that. So 10 to 1. And we're getting the Cleo blessing. You like EVAX, huh, Cleo?
There's a lot of there's several names I have here that are pretty much in line with reverse split, low float, and have some kind of news. So there's some pretty big movers happening today, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely there is. So EVAX, first one here. Let's see if we can get over 9. High print here, 979? Let me get the exact number there. 979, 980 should all be the same, but might as well.
It's It's really weird with EVAX. There's one
98.
day in 2021 of November where it just had a huge candle, and I don't know exactly what the reason for this was, but it came right back in. I don't know if you see that on your chart.
Yeah, I do. So what was here? Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. What day was that?
I have it as the 4th of November, 2021.
4th of November, 2021. Okay, let's try something here real quick. I hope that this is a good example here. Let's go see if we can load up a new news feed. We'll filter for EVAX. And we will do a jump to date. What was that date again?
November 4th, 2021.
All right, 2021 month, November 4th. Okay, we'll go back to 9 a.m. Boom, here we go.
Offering. I think that's what it is.
Let's see. Halted on circuit breaker, up 179% for the session. Boy, I didn't see any news here. Minimum.
The offering may have pulled it back down. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
I think that following offering of common stock, no size disclosed. You know what? This is going to be this might have just been momentum on vaccine movement, because this was shortly after COVID, still during 2021 when the vaccine was making the all of the news cycles here. That might have been what this was here. And then you're right, the offering tied in there. Okay, well, we did a little due diligence live there. How about that?
Yeah, and that's 2021, the year with that we had all kinds of rippers. So it was not so unsurprising to see that this just absolutely took off and then came right back in.
Yeah,
that was the year.
Okay, good stuff here. Born. Dude, this is the money shot of why Benzinga is freaking Mac Daddy platform. That's right. You can do anything here. And I'm going to keep trying to do some of these examples. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This was a really good one. Got a little bit more information there. So, okay. That is on deck here. Let's go back to the movers tool. EVAX, definitely going to be one of them here today. Let's see where this goes. Again, looks like we're moving back towards the VWAP. That would be great for a potential trade. Next on the list here, I saw a number of chatters mentioning this one as well already this morning. This is SPRC SciSpark. This is one that we've traded quite a bit here. We've actually seen this come up with news catalysts over and over again. We've seen this have a whole bunch of movement. We're getting that again here today. If I take a look at the news feed here, SciSpark announces a $20 million standby equity purchase agreement. That seems to be the catalyst that's driving this here today. Let me go ahead and fast forward to today. Bang, we did trade as high as 7. We were rejected up there. We've come back to the VWAP. Let's see if we can reclaim this VWAP on volume. That would be ideal for a potential trade here. We'll see where SciSpark goes. If we want to take a look at the daily chart here, see if we can grab some more levels. You can see even recently, some of the days that this has spiked, that same day, it's really kind of come back in. Keep this in the back of your mind if you're going to trade this here today. There's nothing wrong with paying yourself. You don't necessarily need that 100% ripper. If you can stack some gains, you're going to have a good day anyway. If you look at the chart here on what SciSpark has done, see that it is common that it pops and drops. So let's factor that into our trading plan.
The thing about this, some other details. Yeah, that 20 million standby equity purchase agreement, they actually have a market cap of 1.8 million. So that's a big boost for them. They also did a reverse split on September 28th. It was a 1-26. And this company has an extremely, extremely low float. We're talking less than 1 million shares. My read here is that they got 523 and some change thousand shares. 523,000 shares. This thing will move a lot with the attention it's going to get.
Yeah, and I mean, it's already, so you're talking about that, it's already got already traded 6 million shares here in the pre-market. So it's rotated its float quite a bit already. We'll see where SciSpark ends up. Next on the list here is going to be Kura. This is Kura Oncology, ticker KURA, Kilo Uniform Romeo Alpha. This did pop above 19 earlier. We actually popped as high as 1950-ish. The good news here on this move is that we're actually building above the VWAP. We're doing a really good job holding above that VWAP. Now we are pinned under 19 here, so I would like to see 19 break. We'll see if we get that around the open. Kura definitely going to be on the list to trade here. We do have a news catalyst for this one as well. Kura Oncology announces oversubscribed $150 million private placement. You got any more information on the private placement for this one?
I don't have any information on the private placement, but I was looking at some of the other statistics. This does have a float of over 73 million, and it does have a market cap of almost $1 billion. So I'm not really thinking that this is going to move a whole bunch compared to these other ones we've been mentioning. This one might not see the needle move a whole bunch. So I took this one off my radar for today. I think there's other names with more chances of moving better.
And keep in mind, we've already moved about 5.5 points on this here in the pre-market. So we'll see. Maybe, you know what, though? We can keep this on the back burner. Maybe this is one of those plays that gets fired up later in the day as people digest the news. So we've actually have seen that quite a bit recently. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling through the list here. NXU, this is a new issue for me. This is a stock that I don't even think I've ever pulled up. I've never really heard of this before. We did pop nicely here this morning. NXU secures EV charging patents, showcasing innovation and leadership in EV charging technology. We've discussed EVs and charging quite a bit here recently on this program, and it has not been a glowing discussion. So the fact that this is popping here early, that's great. Kind of skeptical of this, at least early on. Let's see what happens when the market actually opens here. One of the other things that's got me worried here is that we traded up to the VWAP. We were flat out rejected here, and now we're right back down to the lows of the pre-market. So let's see if these lows snap or if we make another run at that VWAP here.
Again, another one that's low float. This one has 11.5% short interest, and it also did a reverse split on December 27th, a 1 to 150 reverse split. I'm with you there, Ryan. The whole EV theme right now is not strong. I don't know. I mean, this could move because it's a low float and it's got some short interest in it. So there's that angle that could get this moving. But just on the patent news alone, I don't think that's really a big driver for me. It might not be a big driver for this one. I think it's really going to be the ability that this gets pushed around is going to be making it attractive.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. Okay, a couple of more to really quickly talk about. CYTO. I feel like we've traded this one a number of times before. This popped just over 340, got to about 345. We're back down to 256. We're actually beneath the VWAP. Again, strategy here. Want to see the volume expand and a move back to the VWAP. We'll see if we end up getting that. RDHL, Red Hill Biopharma. This is one that we've traded before. This is flirting with $1 territory. This was a penny stock yesterday. I'll probably pass on this one today, but again, you'll at least keep it on the back burner. If this starts to heat up and this is the best issue of the day, we'll move back there. A couple more that I really quickly wanted to mention. Silo, pop, and drop. This might already be done. So let's keep that in mind. And then yen. We saw a move up yesterday in yen, and we're seeing a continued move here today. That is going to be on the China stimulus plan that was floated. One thing to note there from our happy hour boots on the ground, nothing was confirmed, at least as of yesterday. I'll go ahead and check again, but nothing was confirmed. That was just something floated by Bloomberg.
And that whole proposal that we're talking about with about 275 billion in stimulus for the Chinese economy. Yes, that is a proposal. That is just something that they've mentioned, and it's interesting that they're doing this because we have the Lunar New Year coming up in early February. I believe the 8th is when the Asian markets close until the 19th to observe the Lunar New Year. That's a long time to be without trading. I'm glad that we don't have markets close that long, but this is where the CCP will pump money, or at least try to pump their market up ahead of that because of how long it's going to be without any activity. The things that you mentioned earlier, CYTO, that is moving on a patent application. It has low float. I don't really have a lot of confidence in this one because it's just moving on a patent application. RDHL, they had patent information that was delivered yesterday after the close. They have 20 million shares. Again, like you said, probably not going to be something we pay too much attention to. And then finally, JWEL. This was moving on no news, low float. They had a reverse split on October 27th for 1 to 16. This one is probably just moving around on its low float, getting pushed around like some of these others. That's what I've got on my list for today.
Okay. That's a good list, though. We got a number of things to take a look at here. And guess what? We talked a little bit about Trade the Pool early. Trade the Pool has a watch list for us as well. Of course, we're going to start off with Netflix. We've talked a lot about that. Netflix is an absolute rocket here after its earnings. Reported some really good earnings here. So we've got some resistance at 570. We have some support at 534. Now that's important because we're currently leaking a little bit here. We're at 539. So about 5 more points down to that support area. See if we get an intraday trade there on Netflix. Next here is going to be Tesla. Tesla is on deck every day, it seems. Currently at just under 212, 211.95. 264. We've got resistance at 217 and support at 207. So we're pretty much in no man's land right now in Tesla. We want to see if that comes in towards the bottom end of the pre-market range or towards 207. 207, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have a chart in front of me. I'll try to get it up here. 207 might correspond with the intraday lows yesterday. Let me see if I can. Yeah, not quite. 207.80 was your intraday low yesterday. So 207 just a bit beneath that. We'll see if we bounce there. I will say maybe 208 might be that support area or might be that potential bounce area. We'll see how it shakes out. Lastly, here from Trade the Pool is AMD, resistance at 169.30 and support at 174. So it looks like that is going to be kind of a downside trade there in terms of the actual numbers. We'll see if we end, unless that they meant 179, which I will take a look here on the chart and see. Nope, and I think that is a downside move here, or a downside setup here on AMD. So we'll see what we get with these. Appreciate Trade the Pool bringing us a watch list. Appreciate all of you guys in the chat mentioning a whole bunch of different stocks. Let me flip over to my main workspace. We'll run through some of those. We do have, a minute 40 before the market opens here. So we'll see where we go. We'll see what happens here. Joaquin asking about NVIDIA. NVIDIA popped again. I mean, this stock seems like it's up every day, right? So traded to about 606 here in the pre-market, really kind of come back in. Not really anything else to go over, not really any fresh news or anything like that. NVIDIA is a rocket every single day.
Yeah, NVIDIA I still have as my best guess for this one, and is 650 based on just a technical read. So if I'm wrong about 650, then I'm not sure where it's going to stop going up at. But that's the best guess I have.
Okay, there we go. Just taking a look at the relative volume scanner here, I did see that several people were mentioning Getter earlier in the chat here. Sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead and get that up here. Who was this? Was this Wiss? Out of Getter. Wiss out of Getter before the open, looking for a dip entry play. Wiss already making in and out trades in the pre-market. Wiss, you must be trying to get that money early so you can go to the golf course. I've seen this behavior before. Congratulations. Great trade there on Getter. This is a penny stock. I will probably pass on this one, as I normally do on these penny stocks, but this definitely moving here. We saw some big moves out of Fun yesterday, so we'll see if we get that again. Let's take a look here at DWAC, because I know that you had mentioned this yesterday, 13, DWAC leaking here in the pre-market, but yesterday, wow, what a move here in the afternoon as that volume expanded, gave us a really good trade. Okay, 5 seconds till we open here. Thanks for the warning. Yep. Good luck, everybody. Let's make some money here today. I'm
really interested to see what we do out of the open with EVAX, like Jason was just saying. This thing is probably going to have some, I mean, if we don't count that one candle on November 4th of 2021, it's got some blue sky territory coming up. Let me go ahead and flip over to the actual trading platform here. Gotta find it. There we go. Boom. There we go. Now we're just going to move this. SPRC dropped at the open. It looks like it's trying to recover. All right. Let's see what EVAX does. This thing's whipping around at the open here. Yeah, we got about a 15-20 cent spread, it looks like, right here at the top. I will say the 3-minute chart here, the candle looks like this kind of wants to roll over. But it's early, so we'll see where we go here on EVAX. I'm looking at other things too. Right now, I see that iNOD is taking off. This wasn't one of the ones we mentioned earlier, but this is something we've mentioned on this show quite a bit. Yeah, you know, again, I just want to reiterate here, we have talked about this recently. One of the reasons why we haven't really talked about this on a daily basis is because I believe both of us have prices under the current price. And it's not my goal to try and get people to chase things that were in lower here. I don't necessarily see a setup, an entry setup here. And this would be my ask, 13. If anything changes here, like if we take another leg up and we set another level here and this comes into a support that is a good entry point, let's talk about that, because I at this point, given the performance of this, I actually wouldn't be against adding here. I didn't really have a gigantic position in this, but it is working quite well. So let's take a look on that for any new potential ads here. Great to see this moving out of the gate. It'll be interesting to see if some of those smaller AI names move out of the gate. One of the other ones that we had talked about recently, IDAI. This is, of course, T-stamp here. Now, we did have a nice day. What is this, Monday? Yesterday, we kind of
we kind of reverted back to the mean, but let's see what happens here today. Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I just was looking at some of these older ones that we previously traded, and Carmen just mentioned it too. ENSC, this was a pop out of the gate, going from about 155 to 175.
And this is actually popping to the top end of the range from yesterday here, ENSC. You can see this is, so we were battling right in here, right? For most of the morning, we were trying to get above this 163 to 165 area. We finally did get it here. We actually got another trade that was a little bit better in the afternoon. Interestingly enough, we actually popped up to that new level that we were trying to get over yesterday. So that 165 might actually act as support today. Let's see what happens if we get to about 180 here, ENSC. By the way, first move out of the gate on NVIDIA was lower. I know we were talking about that a little bit right around the open here. First move here is lower, nothing really big, might just be some profit taking. Frankly, we're still above where we closed yesterday. So stock still green, might have been a red green, or excuse me, a green to red test there and bounce.
I see that NXU dropped out of the open, found support around the 65 EMA, and has come back up to this consolidation we had in pre-market. Now it's just got to get through that. If we can break over 170, not 173 to 175, that'd get us at least back up to VWAP. Be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, and actually in Trade the Pool, I have my VWAP at 173. So those points lining up quite nicely here. 171, the intraday high print. We'll see if we can take that out. Zim, first move out of the gate here, down, but fairly orderly, not really a big deal. TGTX trading up just a little bit in terms of my swing. That's nice to see. Netflix looking like that might turn around here. So let's take a look here at Netflix again, real quick, just to kind of remind you of Netflix. Here's what we're looking at: 570 resistance, 534 support. We're currently at 546. Let's see if we trade up there on Netflix. Nice move out of the gate here.
I see that Smoke Tuna is mentioning PRPL, and I just noticed that Becca said CLSK. CLSK, are we seeing that one move up because Bitcoin's finally got over 40K again?
Yeah, Bitcoin did retake 40K here. It actually looks like it was trying in the morning to really kind of expand and go. Wasn't really able to do that, but doing a decent job holding above 40K here. This Clean Spark move out of the gate, this looks pretty good. This popped up to the top end of the pre-market range here, 765, your high print of the day.
Look at Mara and Riot; those popped out of the gate too. So it looks like Bitcoin's stocks are getting some attention right now.
Yeah, and you know what? This actually kind of mirrors the Bitcoin chart. So it looks like this is actually following Bitcoin pretty well at the moment. So there you go for a potential trade there. Jay Summers mentioning EVAX here. Let's go back to it. Quick in and out on EVAX. Now, EVAX, stop me if you've heard this before. We had multiple tests at the top end of the range, actually snapped it, and then pulled. Now we're actually pulling back to the VWAP. So interesting spot here on EVAX. What do I have as that VWAP spot? In Trade the Pool, I've got that at 864. Let me check in Pro. I've got it at 857. So let's see if EVAX finds any type of support down here. I did see a little bit of a bidder there at 850. Let's see if we get a bounce off this VWAP here. I'm tempted to try this. I might try this a little small.
Looking for SPRC to reverse at some point soon here. We had a big drop out of the open in that one. That's the one that had the standby equity purchase agreement for 20 million. Very, very low float.
Which ticker again? I'm sorry.
SPRC.
SPRC.
Yeah. So that one had a big drop, which may have created some opportunity for a bounce here. We'll see if it's coming up.
I was going to say this actually looks like a fairly decent bounce spot, 13. I might even add to that, maybe 475. Looks like it is trying to bounce at this round number here of 5. Let's see if 475 provides some more support for it. Wiss, you back on the getter train here?
Get her
done.
Yep.
You know, this EVAX, this actually looks like a decent spot here. The spread is what's kind of got me out of it. Or I guess I should say stop me from loading up here. So maybe we are going to try and bounce.
RDHL coming around now. Oh yeah, sure did. That's that popped out of the open. One of the ones I wasn't looking at.
I'm going to try here on EVAX. See if I get filled. Actually, you know what? Can I change my mind real quick?
Plug is going. Let's take a look at plug.
Working orders. Yeah, we're going to cancel this. So I'm taking a look at this. Smoke Tuna, I'd actually like your opinion since I set this chart up for you. First of all, if I look at the ticker chart here, this actually looks like a really decent bounce spot. But if I look at the MACD here, it actually looks like the MACD is having a tendency to expand to the downside. And some of these lines are pitching down. This actually seems like it's weak here. Now, I understand that this can change. So maybe if this histogram showed maybe more of a move to the positive, this would be bullish. This actually, it's kind of holding in there. I'd like to know what your opinion is on this setup here, Smoke Tuna. Zim looks like it's bouncing here. Awesome.
Smoke Tuna had a mention of plug. That one looks like it's trying to do some breaking out here, having a hard time. I think it's trying to reach 4. Looks like 390 was the best it could do in pre-market. Yeah,
it looks like this. Yeah, this was 390 in the after hours too yesterday. We weren't this high yesterday. Nope. Plug, sure, you're right here. Sure, looking like it's trying to break out. I'm looking at the daily chart here. We're right up against that 20 and 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average right above 4 at 404. So maybe a pretty decent breakout spot here if it can take 4 and move higher out of that.
It looks like SPRC is trying to reverse from that initial drop out of the gate, getting resistance from the VWAP that I have here.
LAES, this is a recent runner for us. This popping here a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me check RDHL. That was one that we mentioned earlier. I'm just kind of running through the list here right now.
Well, there's that pop and plug. It didn't get to 4, but it made new highs.
Comes right back to the VWAP here. Lynn saying, never did take that DWAC swing. Results from New Hampshire were coming in too slow. Margin of victory was not a blowout, thus a down stock right now. Interesting. So the thesis here was that
sell the news.
Sell the news, right? Because it wasn't a blowout here. Maybe DWAC coming in a little bit here today. We talked about this being a sell the news at around the primary. We actually talked about that New Hampshire primary as being the catalyst that drives it, and then maybe a sell the news event right after it's over. So interesting there, Lynn. Let us know if you take any more trades on this one. ENSC, the number of tickers being flooding the chat here. ENSC, maybe this definitely showing some strength here. 180 is clearly the spot. A little bit of size there, a little bit more at 186. We'll see if this pops over this. Johnny saying, "Oh man, I sold my Netflix call option at 538." Okay, so
how much you make?
Yeah, I was going to say you must have been up on that. But here, let me take a look at this because this is actually, I think I know what happened here. And let's talk about that real quick. Okay.
ENSC, good call, by the way.
Great call on ENSC. SPRC halted. Jay, really appreciate that. I do really quickly want to talk about this. So it looks like, Johnny, this was Netflix in the pre-market. As soon as the market opened, we had a profit take, right? We dipped a little bit here, and this is where you sold your call, right? 538, almost at the low. And then this thing ripped. Here's what I'll say. Okay. First of all, I got the call at 13 and you sold for 32. So you're doing just fine. Let's keep everything relative here. That's over 100% gain. You know what we're going to do? We're going to ring the cash register for Johnny because that is a great trade. What I will say here is I've seen this a lot. I used to trade earnings quite a bit, and I used to use options in order to capture it to define my risk ahead of time. I often see this move, right, where you get a little bit of profit taking. You start to see your huge profit get cut into as it's dropping. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to take profit here. And then the thing rips because the sellers are out of the way. Well, I don't think you were the only one doing that. I think that this is common when you have, especially after earnings, when you have a beat. There are some people that are only playing that for the print. They're only playing that for the binary event. You can bet your bottom dollar they're going to take profit the next day. It's difficult to sit in one of these, especially once you sit in one of them and you watch your profit tick down. That's happened to me too. So, Johnny, this isn't easy. The one piece of advice that I can give, I think you only had one call there, which makes sense considering how expensive they are. If you're ever in this case and you have multiple options, is as low as 2 with no upper boundary, sell half of them, book some of those gains, and then it makes this a lot easier. Look at this power candle that Netflix is putting in as it pushes to the highs.
EVAX halted as well. I was waiting for you to get finished there because this thing was starting to look like it was going to go to 10. I have an order out to sell, but I picked up just under $9 to sell at 10 because I think it's headed there. SPRC also halted. That was a good bounce observation there. I had some orders underneath where it's bouncing, so I didn't get some of those filled, but I do have a small share size for SPRC that I want to get out at just before 590. I don't know where this one's going.
Okay, we'll see if we can actually take the VWAP here. Nice trade on that EVEX. And yeah, sorry for going on. Maybe I've had too much coffee this morning. Huh? Maybe I've had a little bit. See, that's the difference, right? It's the difference in the level of coffee cups.
Z-Car is setting up. So smoked tuna. Let's take a look at that. This is the one that goes in Z Garage.
I love that. I love that. Okay. What is the meaning of SPRC in full? Sorry, I don't think I understand the question. Market Sniper saying HRTX. HRTX is a nice big move here towards 250. Looks like it stopped there at 250. High print here, 254. Some more size right beneath it at 252.
What's the float on this thing? This thing's recovering off of a bottom when it was at 50 cents.
ETF nukes. NUKZ. Okay. Wow. Range Nuclear Renaissance Index ETF started trading today. Thanks, Jay Rice. As did a new coal ETF. ETF is aptly named coal.
Yes, sir, Rick Potter. Oh, it is up over 14 now.
Wow. Some new ETFs. Thanks, Jay. Let me actually add that to my notes list real quick.
Yes, sir. I'll take a look at SMC while Ryan does that. Answer your question. Is it SMCI or just SMC?
Yeah, SMCI.
Okay.
I love these tickers, but NUKZ. I mean, let's go. This is hysterical. This is hysterical. I appreciate you bringing that to us here. Zim Power Can. This is what we saw yesterday, isn't it? Didn't we see this out of the open yesterday? Shortly after the open. So maybe not right at the open, but a little bit of a dip and then a move higher here. The one thing to keep in mind here on Zim, we really want to break out of the top end of this. I got this at about 1450, 1460, maybe up closer to 1475. So let's call it 1450 to 1475. We want to break that resistance area for this to move higher here. We'll see if we can end up doing that. Market Sniper mentioning that DWAC is trying here. DWAC is trying here. Nice little move through the VWAP here. Let's see if this gets going and moves higher. ENSC trying for 2 here. Did get 2 print and through here, Wiss. Nice job. ENSC. God, boy, we got the move on this one a lot quicker than we did yesterday, right? It took a while for that ENSC move to materialize yesterday. Today, we're getting it. Man, I'm moving around so quickly, I'm not even placing trades yet.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at, isn't there?
There's a lot going on.
Let me go back to some of these. Oh, man. ENSC just blasting off. What is this? Let me take a look at this chart here. Because it's through all the levels I had marked off. So I don't know where this one's headed. It could get probably into the 3s if it has enough attention.
Pull back to the VWAP here, 189. I've got the VWAP at 180. Jay Wild, good morning. C4 moving. Let's take a look at that one. That's been a big mover for us in the past here. Quad C, C4. 621, an interesting spot there if we can get over the 20 on the daily. If we take a look at the hourly chart here, you can see we actually pushed up into a resistance area. It might be a little bit more here, maybe 605, 610 on that. RVSN, by the way, Smoke, so we didn't even talk about this. We ran out of time because there was so much stuff going on this morning. What a move in RVSN yesterday, huh? Who ended up hitting that one? And we talked about this one early. It kept grinding up, and then we really got that expansion later on in the afternoon. Huge move for RVSN here. It looks like it's gearing here today, Smoke Tuna.
Yeah, that move yesterday, that was all blue sky territory. Beyond, let's see, beyond 315, just all blue sky. That's amazing.
Real quickly, I want to address this comment here. Johnny saying FOMO from RVSN and DWAC ruined my day yesterday. Okay, Johnny, let's talk about this because I'll be honest, this has happened to me too. I see some of these runners. I think I got to capture some of this. I've actually done this on this show, which I'm not proud of. I actually see something really moving. I see the chat taking a look at it and I say, you know what? I want to get some exposure there. Even if I don't make a lot, if I make a little bit here. By the way, LXRX might be breaking the highs here. 176 has a little size. 177, that high print LXRX. With some of these, that FOMO, that's hard, right? That is an ongoing battle. There are some days where I have my FOMO completely in check and I literally fold it up and put it in my pocket and it doesn't do anything. And there are other days where FOMO is the 800-pound gorilla in my room clunking my head against something because I can't do anything without it. It's just how FOMO goes. What I will say here is that if you can come up with a tactical entry and really focus and hold yourself to that, you're probably going to be in a lot better shape. As some of these continue to run away from you when you're not in them, I know it sucks, but just always tell yourself there's always going to be another trade. There's always going to be another one. If you can be prepared for that one, you can get a better entry. FOMO won't be a thing anymore. You can actually make some money there.
Just looking around, waiting for some of these to unhalt. SPRC and EVAX are the two that I'm waiting for those to get back into the swing of things. Looks like coin and some of these Bitcoin names are starting to really sell off now. Because we dipped under 40K
I was going to say
again.
Bitcoin kind of rolled over. We'll take a look at that. Here's coin rolling over.
$40 or 40,000 level, apparently carrying that much weight.
Jacob, good to see you. All right, Yasser, we don't do spamming here. I think you need a timeout, my man. The bear coming in. Bear Claw, give us a pick. Bear Claw, give us a pick here today. What are we taking a look at? What are you trading this morning? LXRX still at the top end of the range there. BFRG, I still don't think I can get BFRG. Let's check and see if I've got it there today. No BFRG. We will take a look at that here, though. Let me go ahead and add this. Take a look at SMMT. Look at this. This is one that we've traded here before. This has been a runner in the past, running again. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look at BFRG.
Had a pop to 7, just a little bit over 7, and it came back in. It's down to it's getting support from VWAP at the moment. Could move higher. Just have to watch and see where the price goes for the next 5-10 minutes.
I'm going to run through the I've got Pro up here. I'm going to run through the scanner here. Hey, great call on Kura, by the way. 13. Kura really just kind of staying in that range, not breaking out, not breaking down.
SPRC unhalted. Filled my limit order, so out of that one now. I don't know what's going to happen if it can get above 591. That's where I have my next level at. If we can get to there, then we got, 670 would be the
next.
It
actually looks like we popped on that unhalt. We did up to 6. Okay.
Yeah. So just waiting for EVAX to unhalt now. That should be pretty soon since they halted fairly close to each other.
Jim, also out of SPRC. Jim, I think you took the similar trade as 13. Nice job paying yourself here this morning.
Good job.
Good job.
NVIDIA is rocketing. Well,
so is Netflix, by the way. Netflix is so strong today that it's actually appearing on the relative volume scanner, which for the most part normally picks up some of the smaller names. Also worth noting with these moves here, SMH towards the highs. So this is going to be your VanEck semiconductor ETF. That also moving up here. Let's take a look at NVIDIA real quick.
Oh, you're welcome, Jim. I'm glad it worked out.
You might recognize Jim from the happy hour.
Yes. Hi, Jim. Sorry, I'm so terrible with names.
All right. SPRC continuing above 6. Yeah, see, Kura coming to a potential breakout spot here. Let's see if we can do it. 1950 going to be my spot there on Kura. NXU still holding lower here. PRPL doing a decent job bouncing here. Actually reclaimed the VWAP just there.
Gotta think that EVAX is going to unhalt any moment now. I wasn't paying attention to the timer. Yeah, that's SPRC is one that I have high hopes for. That and EVAX. You guys were talking about EVAX, and I had the same thought on this too, with the fact that they are using AI to identify new potential vaccines. I Seems like a pretty big deal to me.
NVVE, this is from yesterday. This had a big spike. Wiss, you called this one perfectly yesterday. Looking like this may be setting up here. We're right at the VWAP. If we get some volume flow in here, this might pop. Good mention here from Lynn.
I'm out of EVAX because it just opened and popped to 1130. So I am out.
Big pop here on EVAX.
Oh, yeah.
Great job trading that here. EVAX, big mover here today.
First time halts to the upside. Not always, but usually they pop up out of the halt.
EVAX, yeah, and done. Jane Smith crushing it out here today.
Awesome.
The Bear Claw giving us something to take a look at here. D-Dog could see a bounce on D-Dog here if it finds a bottom. So you're looking for an intraday bottom here on D-Dog. It looks like we did kind of trade down. Cleo, good Lord. Looks like we did kind of trade down to this one, this area here right around 124. Looks like it bounced there before. We'll see if we get another one.
Oh, I agree, QN. And I'm not basing my trading strategy on that. Yet. We don't have one yet. Not saying that we ever will, but I don't like to say that we'll never have one.
Never say never.
Yeah. LEAS looks like it's trying to crawl back up. It's testing VWAP right now, my VWAP anyway. NXU, I'm not sure about NXU. The more it stays down here, the less and less I like it. And this was the one on the EV charging patents. So I kind of already don't like it.
Yeah, this one not my favorite. ENSC, ENSC, can it hit 3? I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Maybe not today, but we've seen that. We've seen crazy. I wouldn't have told you that RVSN would have done what it did yesterday, and sure enough, it did. Really needs those buyers to come in. Nice job, Mark, on this SPRC scalp. Let's go. CX. Just kind of looking at some other tickers here, just kind of looking around.
Yeah, looking to see if there's anything setting up that I could get an entry into. Just not looking like it a whole lot right now.
Tesla near the lows of the day, currently 209. Remember, we had 207 as the support area from Trade the Pool, maybe even a 208 support based on the on looking at yesterday. Tesla looks like the sell-off is slowing down here. We'll see if this starts to bounce.
Yeah, Lynn, use me as an indicator at your own risk. I think Felicia's vacations are a much better indicator if that tells you anything.
I see you here, penny stock. Looks like this is kind of grinding up towards 90 cents.
Wow, Barat. That's
Barat.
That's huge. I guess you're not working for the rest of the year.
Yeah. ARQT. This is another grind higher here on ARQT, maybe 174, 177. Some resistance areas there.
And what is the deal with that one? Because that looks like we've traded that one before as well.
Oh, yeah. ARQT. We talked about this yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. So this might have been a tuna call. Tuna's calling it again here today, ARQT. Tuna, weren't you in this from like several days ago on like kind of a swing? This wasn't the flush low swing. That was SGMT. How's that doing today?
Got a buy rating.
It's actually still holding up here, SGMT. That's impressive.
ENSC is starting to look, well, it just went below VWAP. So I'm curious to see if we can actually start to reverse here at this level. This is going to be something I'm going to watch. If we can hold this level for the next 10, 15 minutes around this area, not do it that, then this could turn around. But I need to see this hold some of these EMAs.
Kura grinding up. Let me take a look at that here. So we did break out of the top end of that range, right? Yeah, we sure did. And that's actually given a trade here. Wow. So this is one of the setups that I really, really like. It really hasn't been working often, but it absolutely worked here. Kura, big push, big breakout, great volume. This looking good.
Well, I discounted that one too because I thought the float was a little bit too big and the price was a little bit too high. So I did not do good on that one. EVAX looks like it's trying to make another move here. It's looking pretty strong right now. This needs to hold that VWAP. It's above VWAP right now.
Yeah, I'd be interested in trying this again if it comes down to VWAP. Zim, nice little move there.
Yeah, that one's a bit flaggish, and man, that rip to 415 was awesome. If we continue to get this formation to play out, we probably could see higher than 415.
415. Which ticker?
I'm sorry, 1415.
I was going to say, what ticker?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Sam,
Getter.
this is actually good trading action here today. Would love to see this actually break out from yesterday's high. We popped above that here today, but came right back in. Love to see a breakout. Robert Smith giving us a level here on Kura. Robert, good to see you this morning. Kura here, $23 is your next price target here on Kura. Let me see if I can figure that out from the chart. Look on Pro here off the screen.
EVAX doing EVAX things. It looks like it's trying to get up there and go. We're getting into 11. And you're right, QN. But hey, this is great news. And they said AI. It's AI.
I actually think in that example, AI is going to be the dominant driver there. We've seen that a lot in some of these PRs here.
It's the buzzword of 2024.
Yeah, and I will say on Kura, Robert, I think you're right there. There might even be a little bit more of that resistance area up to about 2350. That entire 23 handle looks like that stopped Kura before back in June of 2021 when it was trying to bounce. This is here. Let me just bring this up on screen here real quick. This is actually a really strong move here. You're looking at a daily chart here on Kura. You can see, look at all of the area that we've taken out with this recent move, right? So if we did this to here, we're really taking out a lot of this area, and this is already after coming up off the bottom. This is the 23 area Robert's talking about. I think that's absolutely in play here today if this remains strong. Yeah, EVAC saying it's amazing news, but you know how that goes, right? Sometimes the news sounds better than it actually is. I mean, again, we're not trying to discern the actual validity of what they're saying. We are trying to make money from the movement of the underlying asset. That is the primary goal here.
Don't get married to any of these low float stocks that are we're just only interested in these because there's movement and volume. I mean, the biggest one I have an issue with, that to your point about some of this news just being absolutely nothing.
Look at EVAX.
CYTO, the patent application. They submitted an application for a patent. Stock's moving. Okay.
You submitted an application, buy stocks.
I know. Let's rip. Oh wow, there goes EVAX. Bum, 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 bum.
I like the little sound effect there. Here is your Saito, by the way. To your point, 13. So if you take a look at the intraday chart here on Saito, you got to pop. They're submitting submitting a request. We got the pop here, but look at the reaction after it. The patent, sorry. Look at the reaction, just nothing but down, nothing but a bleed here. Now maybe we bounce and come back up to the VWAP. We'll see, but
looks like EVAX is halted again. Yep.
There is 1193 your halt on EVAX.
Yeah. I can't say with any certainty that this pops out of its unhalt and then comes back in like the last one just did. It's halts like these where I would do bracket orders. I'm not going to try anything with this one right now because I don't have my eyes constantly on it. But this is where I would start being a little bit more careful and keeping my stops tight.
So this actually really kind of plays into what we were talking about, that FOMO move earlier that Johnny had brought up. The thing about this is like I'm fighting this right now. When we saw that first move, 13, that you were actually trading this one after the pop, you're able to lighten up. I saw this coming back in. I said, look, the last time this did this, came back into VWAP, we got another trade out of it. Well, it never came back into VWAP. So I never got my entry. So I'm missing this move too. Now I want to be in this. I want to kind of buy this and say, well, maybe this pushes up into a third halt. Let's see. I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to fight that FOMO and I'm going to wait for it to set up. I see SPRC getting mentioned a whole bunch here. SPRC looking like it's trying to push away from the VWAP. Quite spread here.
SPRC, there's a level that I have at 591 that it keeps trying to get over, and every time it does, it just creates wicks. So maybe $6 would probably be the more accurate level, but it's trying to push over 6. I think it wants 6. I think if we get over 6, this thing could probably push up to 650 to 670.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It looks like we're trying here. Still spread considerably. Voodoo, great. Good morning. Great to see you here this morning. Ryan, I got no trades on yet either. Still waiting through reversals. So I've done this enough now where I have no problem being patient. I am you anytime you see a big ripper, especially one that you've covered and watched and you see it moving, there's definitely going to be a FOMO aspect in there, but I'm okay. I'm doing all right. It's a long day. I got plenty of time here today. Going to make sure I don't cause a mess early on in the morning.
Yeah, it looks like I'm just taking a look at some of these other ones. DWAC got smacked.
There you go
down
on SciSpark. It just broke that level you were just talking about, 13. Here we go on SciSpark. SPRC higher here. Big pop up to 650. We'll get halted here if it holds.
It's going to halt. Yeah. Look at all those bids popping
Halted.
in this. Yeah.
Yep. This is halted. Great call, 13. Great call. You were right on that. You were right on that, man.
But I wasn't in it. So.
No. But again, the more that you can recognize the pattern and the trigger, there's going to be more opportunities. The fact that you didn't hit it right here is okay. The fact that we're flagging these things correctly is really the key. And anyone else out in the chat, wow, another halt. I'm in. There you go, Robert. So guess what? We might not be, but some of our chat members are. Good stuff here.
And I'm loving this activity this morning.
I was going to say lots of activity. In fact, I'm going to step away for just 1 sec. 13, you good?
Oh, absolutely. What else? You traded Kura and SPRC well today. Hey, Ryan, if you made some great money, that's what we want to hear. Great job. What else we got here? Good day. Let me see here. What's EVAX doing? We're still halted in that one. Those are the two halted ones. EVAX and SPRC have been some big winners for me today. Hope it's doing well for others as well. Any other tickers that you guys want me to take a look at? Maybe there's something about to happen here with these. Taking a look at, that's one not going to move a whole lot. RDHL seems to be bouncing off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Volume's pretty low though, so I'm not sure this one's going to recover all the way back up to 126. The rule on second halts, well, it's going to be a rule for just about every halt that I have is try to do bracket orders as often as you can, especially when you get into the later halts, because they could just violently pop and drop. And that's just what I like to do. It's not advice. It's just what I prefer to protect myself. Zim still trying to get another candle to close above 14. I think we still see above 14 at some point. Getter curling. Get her done.
Get her done. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's trying to get it. Okay, so here we go. It's starting to get above VWAP or getting some activity, and we could push. And 48 cents and a half cent is about where I see a breakout level occurring. If we can get up there.
EVAX open.
Yep.
Looks like we got a 5-minute halt there instead of a 10-minute.
So that one popped and then it dropped to where to about what, 1150. So this is kind of what I was referring to about the use of bracket orders. This, if you, I don't know what you would have identified as what your profit take would be, but if you went from 1150 to 12 and got out, well, then you have a trade. And at the very worst, then you're going to end up flat.
So when you say bracket order, are you referring to an OCO order? One cancels the other. So you have a downside order and an upside order. And if one of them hits, the other one is canceled. So Tuna, does that make sense? I know you were asking what's the bracket order. That it would, another word for that is an OCO, or a one cancels the other. I
apologize if that was confusing. I know that some
different platforms have different nomenclature. That's just part of the game.
Yeah, and that's what they do have. Like I know TradeStation uses the OCO,
So
Oh,
does
wow.
Thinkorswim, by the way. MOB here, good call from Tuna here. This moving above the VWAP. Volume not impressive yet, but that's plenty of time for that to kind of turn around.
Goodbye, EVAX. There it goes. It's at 13 now and higher, and it is tearing up. This thing is probably going to get halted again.
Yeah, it sure is.
Let's just see. That gets enough volume in there.
But it's got a hold, and it's kind of all over the place. Wow, huge move here too.
Yeah. And, I guess the next question is, would I feel bad about not being in this when it's taken off like that? No, because it wasn't part of my plan. I don't know exactly what's going to happen out of these halts. So I'd rather just protect myself instead of, try to see if I can make, or get the next lottery ticket.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there was a question earlier. Rick, good morning, Rick. Good to see you again. What's the rule on second halts? And he used rule.
I mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I normally do it with 3, right? Normally it's that third halt that's really got me shaky. Yeah. But we'll see here.
Yeah. Usually the third halt out of the third halt tends to be one of the last times. And then you start to see a lot of pullback.
Yeah.
The second halt, I start to get a little less risky. And that's when that's what was mentioned, bracket orders. And then the third one, I probably usually won't play just because I know that we're I'm trying to think of the analogy.
You've already burned up the good currency, like the easy move, the low hanging fruit already been taken.
Yeah. So, and you don't want to, get too greedy and start chasing these things and lose what you just gained. Just take what the market gives you.
The worst thing that you can do would be to chase one of these and then have it work. And you know why I say that? Because what you've now just done is you have positive reinforcement on a bad habit. You don't want to be chasing any of these, right? You want 13. You did an awesome job on the setup here. We actually mentioned this right in here. It was about 10:30, right? It was right as this thing was curling. That was your entry, not chasing up here. Or better still, the entry around the VWAP on that first move that you actually entered and you traded it. So don't worry. And the other thing about these moves, I don't know any trader that consistently top ticks things, that buys it at the bottom and sells it at the top. As long as you make something in the middle, as opposed to losing something in the middle, you did all right.
What happened to JPM? Let's take a look.
Oh my God, a blast from the past. Jessica's old Wiggle Wednesday. I remember that. I hope Jessica's doing all right. The Wiggle Wednesday. Oh my God. These days were wild. And you know what's funny is that we looked so strong in the pre-market. We popped out of the open and now we're kind of rolling over here on the market. If we take a look at the SPY, we are getting that wiggle that you're talking about. We'll see if we move lower here or if we move higher. But yeah, that's a good blast from the past there. Appreciate that.
I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Junie? What happened with JPM? I only see news about them, about Jamie Dimon saying that.
Jamie Dimon? Was that a
Demon or Diamond?
It's Diamond.
Is it Diamond? I don't want to say Diamond because I think I'm saying Diamond. I hate saying that. Okay,
so we go with Demon instead.
We're going with Demon. So Jamie Dimon saying that cyber attacks. He said that we get 45 billion hacking attempts per day. That's what JPM says. Biggest threat to the U.S. financial system. So maybe there's we already got a hacking attempt on Microsoft on Friday. Now we have this. I mean, cybersecurity seems to be getting a lot of attention lately. So maybe there's a long trade in there somewhere. Anyway, back to the movers.
So it looks like maybe Junie. You said Junie. I think I've been pronouncing it Junny. I apologize if I've been mispronouncing it. I'll go with Junie though.
Hey, I just said Jamie Demon.
Demon is appropriate though. Oh man. Sometimes the things you stumble across are the absolute best.
Yeah.
SPRC halted to the downside now, so you can see how quickly the story changed there. Now, what's worth noting here, we're actually still up considerably here on SPRC. This is a move back down to the VWAP. We halted right before the VWAP. I'm curious to see how this is going to react after it unhalts, because this might have found some support near that VWAP. I do see a big order here. It looks like there were a lot of people trying to sell prior to the halt, so that might actually push it beneath here. This will be interesting to see how this holds up.
You got to remember with this one has extremely low float. I believe this is the one that has about 500,000, a little more than 500,000 shares on the float. So
Yeah.
when this wants people want out of this one, it's gonna go down hard.
QN has a affinity for bankers, it would seem. Hey, look.
What did I just start?
all jokes aside, I've worked in 2 banks, and I don't like it. Those were not enjoyable at all. I would not do that again. So I understand where you all are coming from there. And I saved my soul before my soul was sucked out into the ether.
Oh man, I'm not going to live that one down, and that's fine too, because I think it's funny as well. Jamie Demon. Anyway, what are we seeing that's moving here? Because it looks like a lot of stuff is kind of slowing down. I see RDHL is still trying to make that bounce off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, coming up to some other EMAs right now. I think this probably just gets resisted and probably goes lower, maybe under $1. We'll have to see if buyers come in or not. It looks like LAES tried to make another attempt at the intraday highs. Just came short by about a penny, and now it's returning to VWAP. EVAX also coming in. Getter is still not quite getting her over the VWAP. Trying though.
How's NXU doing? It's just nothing but a sell-off today.
Well, let's pay attention to maybe some of these Bitcoin names, since it looks like Bitcoin's about to cross over 40 again.
TSM, big move here. I bet that's moving SMH as well. Indeed, highs on the SMH ETF.
All right, so now I see Mara coming back up, and looks like Riot's coming back up since we got
right to the VWAP. Yep,
since we got over 40K.
It's crazy. This chart looks like the Bitcoin chart intraday.
Yeah,
SPRC is open. We did actually pop beneath that VWAP. Let's see if we can reclaim here. I've got VWAP at 575.
Oh, Jay, TXN. That was they did not have a great earnings. Yeah, because they're what's that?
I said thank you. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, they had their automotive sector get hit pretty hard. Not that they build cars, but they build components for cars. There was some other news too. Let me see if I can pull that up. But,
yeah, Jay, shout out to you on this one. I actually forgot to mention this right out of the gate. I should have on my list. You had mentioned yesterday during the chat that your gut told you that they would not do very well on earnings. Maybe not necessarily about the number, but how the stock traded. You were exactly right. That was a great call here. This move down. It didn't play this one. Nice little move down. Like 13 was saying, this had some automotive exposure that they talked about in their earnings report, which is why it was moving down here. I will say, given the fact that it had a down move, this is an interesting performance here today. Yeah, and the thing about TXN that we were talking about in Happy Hour yesterday was their guidance that they gave for this current quarter win Q1. Their estimates are close to a year-over-year decline of nearly 1 billion. Mm-hmm. So they're expecting to have their Q1 year-over-year compared to 2023's Q1 to be almost $1 billion less in revenue. So I think that's probably the biggest factor as to why it's trading down today. Smoke Tuna mentioning Bison here, this grinding and popping away from its VWAP. This move in here. Yeah, I'm just waiting for things to set back up. It's been an awesome morning so far. Yeah, it sure has. Now Bison is it's popped, but it popped out of that resistance that we made in intraday here in the morning. But this is very slow moving, and not really. No, it's not spread. Just really slow moving. Kura, this looking pretty orderly. Nice move back down to the VWAP. NVIDIA, what's going on with NVIDIA? Probably going higher. Just keeps moving higher here. Oh my gosh, we're gonna hit it, aren't we? The 650 is that? Was that the call? That's yeah. Because all I see for technicals is that we're broadening, and if we draw some trend lines. The trend line that I have goes up to 650. Did you pop that in the happy hour chat? I could display that on screen. Yeah, let me do that just real quick. Yeah, let's do that.
Because I really don't have any idea just how fundamentally high this thing can go.
By the way, folks, we've talked a lot about the happy hour here. I'm going to take a sec to plug that here while 13's putting his chart in here. We talk a lot about Benzinga Pro. We talk a lot about how great the community is. I tell you guys every day how awesome you are. Well, that community, there's definitely some overlap, but there's also some people that are exclusive to the Benzinga community. I got to say, 13 has done an awesome job in the happy hour chat. The happy hour chat is tied to our happy hour show. So even if you miss some, I noticed here 13 actually wrote up a little summary of what the discussion was yesterday, some of the tickers that we talked about yesterday. He does this every single day. And so this is really, really happy or really helpful for staying on top of the happy hour. Boy, it's easy for me to say, isn't it, 13? Just really, really awesome work, all done by our community members. This is a group of traders that are all trying to do the same thing. Here is that chart that we were just talking about here in a video. I apologize, I can't make it any bigger, so we're going to have to deal with that. Here's the broadening wedge that 13 is talking about. That target up here about 650.
Yeah.
Wild if we get that.
Yeah, I had serious doubts at the start of the month, and those doubts are just really starting to go away. I can't believe we're going to see this thing rip to 650 if that's what happens. Yeah, it looks like, I think somebody mentioned EVAX is halted on the way down.
Okay, let's take a look at some of these because I do want to do some trading here. Okay, EVAX indeed halted way down here. Let's take a look at SPRC. I saw that was moving here. Looks like that did bounce off the VWAP. I don't think it's going to be strong enough to get above that 650. That's where it stopped before. We'll see if it ends up doing that. Take a look at yen. We talked about some of those Chinese names being higher here on that back to that stimulus news. Yen looks like this is trying to go higher. GNS.
Look at LAES. That thing ripped.
Sure did.
I think that was it Smoke Tuna that brought that to our attention earlier in the morning? I believe it was. Yeah.
Look at the Bear Claw. Bear Claw saying, hey, D-Dog might be a potential bounce play. Maybe we're getting the start of it here, bouncing off that 125 up about 1.5 points back towards the VWAP. Let's see if this builds and takes. The one thing I will say here, Bear, is that we see the volume kind of decline as this price moves back to this key level. A big pop here on the volume, and I think this probably tries 130 at some point. 4-point move here.
EVAX is unhalted. It went down close to VWAP, and it's trying to come back now.
I'd like this to actually touch VWAP. I have a VWAP reading of 1007 here. Look at Rick. I love this discipline here. Rick's saying, I already got out at 6:05, closing up shop for the day. Thanks, guys. And
awesome, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, you're welcome. This is actually one of the things that I really, really like about trading. You can be disciplined. You can really kind of get your cash early in the day and then enjoy the rest of your day. Spend it with the family. Go out in the fog that we have here in Chicago. Fog is absolutely nuts. Anyway, great job, Rick. Great job. Nexi being mentioned here in the chat. Let's take a look at Nexi.
Oh, that one's coming back, huh? That's one of the great things about this.
Got a little bit of a volume move here, but nothing yet. I want to be early to these, though. So
one of the great things about trading is you can set your own hours.
Exactly. ENSC. Let's see if this moves through the VWAP or finds some resistance here. Actually might take this for a real quick one. This is going to be high risk, though. If this moves down here, I'm going to buy it right here. If this moves through, in fact, I'm actually going to set this. This breaks through here. We're just going to take this off. I want to see a quick move here away from the VWAP. Might not get it, but we'll see.
Ooh. Seen anything interesting?
No, I noticed. I'm taking a high risk trade here on ENSC. I don't really see anything else yet. Let me roll through some of the scanner names here.
Okay, I see what you're doing here with the ENSC.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a push away from that VWAP. We'll see if we get it. And a real tight stop in case we don't. I got no problem waiting for it to set up again. So.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got stopped out right there. That's okay. We'll wait for that to set up again. Let me just keep going through some of these names here. GNS.
Well, your stock looked like it was a really good move because, geez.
Did it fall out here?
Oh my God, it did.
Yep, your first stop is your best stop. VSME. See if we find something else to set up here. VSME, this one, the penny stock, this might go higher here. ARQT setting up for the next leg up. 474 is what's been stopping that one here. I see some size here, ARQT. This is a good spot to watch here, Tuna.
Yep, I like that one.
Lynn and Randy saying some Ozempic news on NVO. Let me go ahead and capture that. NVO looks like it's rolling over a little bit here intraday. Let me see what that news
I saw some
Poison
news.
control officials says suspected fake Ozempic linked to 3 U.S. cases of hypoglycemia. Okay, so this is an interesting news catalyst here. Fake Ozempic. So that's not even the company's drug, right? That's someone trying to fake the drug because of the popularity of this drug. It'll be interesting to see how the stock reacts to this. I gotta think if this was someone dying from the actual drug, this would be way bigger of a deal. But nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see how they clean this up. NVO definitely moving down from that report. Kura still hanging in there above 20. SPRC still flirting with that 6 level. Let me bring that up here and trade the pool.
Yeah, I'm just cycling through things. Things are just kind of, some are setting up, some are just falling. B's on BZUN, still slowly moving up, making new highs.
DDD is, look, man, Dennis Dick is the real deal, Jay. Did he call NVIDIA to the upside here? I was actually in a meeting this morning.
Where does he think that goes?
That's a good question. I wonder what his target is. Let me see if I can. Let me message him and see if I can get a response.
Isn't this when he's usually asleep?
Dennis?
Yeah, I thought he traded futures early in the morning. That's my understanding.
Maybe
I'm wrong,
I don't know.
Jay, that was a while ago, and he, her husband also divested. He had, so I'm surprised that that we're still going off that, because that's one of the reasons why I got NVIDIA in the first place. And then when he sold, I sold for a pretty decent profit, and now I wish I had just stayed in it.
VSME, yes, this did halt. Junie, sorry. This did halt. Voodoo saying Triple D is usually trading at 4 a.m. So
yeah,
I don't blame him for taking a nap. Let's be honest, okay? I don't blame him for taking a nap.
Right. Looks like TKO Group really wants to get above this 65 EMA on the 5-minute. It's just been kind of hanging out here. It looks like it could, if it gets noticed, if it gets the volume in here, this thing looks like it could probably move back up above 90, but it's just dead right now.
ENSC on a little bit of a pull here.
I think EVAX might be trying to make another go at it, another go for their intraday high, which is currently at 1355. That's just one to watch.
TXT, wow. Textron, this is just big move here. This was just under $80 yesterday, currently printing 85.5. SUGP, so an IPO. What is this? Sunglow Products. Nice shout here on this one, Lynn. Another IPO that's open. This doesn't even look all that volatile at the moment.
Well, that was, oh, yeah. That was at the open, but now it's kind of just chilling. I'm just really flabbergasted by what NVIDIA is doing. Not that we haven't seen something like this before, but it's
No, but you're right to be flabbergasted by it, because we talked a lot about like some of these names really moving. Like, look at Broadcom. Look at Broadcom, dude. This Broadcom has gained almost $100 billion in market cap in 1 week.
wow.
I mean, that's insane. Now we've got NVIDIA, and we talk out in happy hour all the time about NVIDIA. It's, it's so big, it's still getting pushed around like it's effectively a penny stock.
That AI theme is going to go to the strongest players, and NVIDIA has to be
Indeed. And look at Microsoft, dude. Look at Microsoft above 400. Microsoft has over a $3 trillion market cap, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look in pro here real quick. Let's do that.
I remember them. I remember the news coming out that they pulled ahead of Apple.
2.965 trillion before today, and today we're actually up 1%, up 4 points.
Yeah, the profit taking and the pull in this market, I don't see it going very well. With how extended we are, it just makes me nervous. But hey, that'll be
SMCI, and you're right. SMCI did it. You're saying, Dennis's call on SMCI did even better. This is just vertical. This is just an absolute vertical move here. All right.
Yeah, man, Microsoft. That's got to be
look at the coil here on SPRC. Now we're breaking
got
down.
the 50. Get her. It's getting her done. Yep.
PRC, I kind of want to try some of this.
We were looking for that break of 50.
Let's see if this gets faked out here. See, I don't want to chase this here. We were just looking at this at the 580s.
Yeah, it's some of these things that are setting up, I'm just a little cautious on because they're just not moving too much.
Apple moving back towards the highs here.
Let's see, where are the Qs at?
The getter jokes are going to get good here. Go get her.
Go get her.
This penny stock, this has been a good move. I mean, I know I don't like them. I know I don't like trading them, but you know what? Don't knock them. This has been a good move. ICU, someone mentioned this earlier here too. ICU really just a grind higher all day long.
Yeah. Until the profit taking happens, then people are going to end up in the ICU.
The guys in the Benzinga day trade chat are great. Day trading, pro lounge, those are probably the two main rooms. The happy hour room is actually a newer creation, but I like it all. I'm a huge fan of you guys know I'm on here every day. I'm a huge fan of the community and sharing information and sharing ideas, especially amongst retail guys, because I feel like that gives us a leg up. So I love to see the participation in those rooms. Hopefully you're participating in there, Junie.
They really do have some excellent actionable ideas and trades in there.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, I'm just cycling through these, and things
so
are just looking a little tired right now. It's gonna be one of those days where we just see one of these just absolutely rip in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is keep your eye on Tesla. Right, because let me pull up my chart here real quick.
We get them today.
What?
Tesla, we get earnings today.
Earnings today, yeah, but there are other earnings. I think it's Lam Research here. Let me pull up the chart here. Earnings for the week of January 22nd. Yes, Tesla tonight, ServiceNow tonight, IBM. That was the other big one that we wanted to mention because IBM, that's another pure AI play. Courtesy of the happy hour. I know IBM is not the sexy name that everyone wants to talk about, but absolutely a pure AI play. This has actually been trading pretty well recently. It's down here today. LRCX, CSX, United Rentals, Las Vegas Sands, ticker LVS, all reporting tonight after hours.
Yeah, and IBM, they've had Watson for a while. They've been dabbling with AI for probably one of the longest times when compared to these other tech names. And they, we were also discussing about how business solution and services companies like IBM that are integrating AI into their
DWAC waking
products.
up here. Do we take a risky trade here on DWAC? It's so spread.
Sorry about me rambling. I just kind of
No, you're fine. You're fine. Look, that's how it goes.
So we're looking at DWAC.
I mean,
ooh, look at that go.
Junie, we talk about FOMO. I've got it right now. I definitely want to try some here.
Well, it did trade up to about the same level it did earlier this morning, where it got rejected. So it's possible it could get rejected here.
I was going to say it stopped right at the same spot, and I'm looking at this candle. I'm like, is it going to keep going here? Well, we just got rejected at the same spot.
Though they don't really have, I don't really think a whole lot of people use Watson, but they do have other AI related software. Watson, I mean, I'm just saying Watson.
Well, plus they learn lessons off the development of Watson that they're carrying forward into their next project. Here we go on DWAC.
Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of, I mean, I don't know who uses Watson, but I know that there are a lot of AI products they've made based on their usage of that. I think they also have some development software that uses AI.
Man, I want to try DWAC here. Am I crazy?
No, it's FOMO.
You're like, no, you're not crazy. You're just doing it wrong. And there it goes. Oh, so the board. Oh, you're seeing the struggle back and forth. Don't want to buy it. Don't want to chase that green candle. Don't want to chase that green candle. But man, that did pop higher here. DWAC getting rolling here. 46.80, that intraday high. We'll see if we end up taking that.
Right up to the level that I have here. The next one after this is going to be the 200 EMA on the 5-minute and then $50.
See if we get a pullback here.
And we could, but if we hold if we hold 46, then we could probably end up going higher really shortly here. See how we're trying to beat up the 46 level right now. There's some size there trying to support it. If it gets eaten up, then yeah, I'd say we probably pull back to under 46, and well, obviously, but down closer to 45. Getter, still getting her done.
Smoke Tuna saying DWAC resistance at 49. Yeah, Voodoo saying, Ryan, you're just laughing at me and this struggle there. The wicks are going to get you on DWAC. Don't touch it. Look, I mean, I've been burned before doing the same thing. I think you're right. I really think you're right, Michael. It's probably better that I just don't. I just want to. I want some action. I can't help it.
Okay, so now it's under 46. Now it's got has a task of trying to get back above it, and it just did. And it just went under. So it's whipping around.
Kura, maybe curling here on Kura. Maybe I'll try some Kura here. Try some Kura here. Try some Kura for a curl here. I did see them bring in a nice bid under it here on Kura. Took a very, very small position. We'll see if we can pop. First spot that I want to see fall here is going to be this 2055. We're not that far from that. We can get back up towards 21. That will be ideal. Let's see if Kura can get rolling here if we come back to VWAP. Oh, you guys are mentioning RVSN. Let's take a look at that. RVSN, yes, maybe we're curling and making a move towards the VWAP there. This might be a little bit more of like kind of a break day for it after yesterday, though.
You know, we had the dollar index drop beneath 103 this morning. So that's probably one of the big reasons why we're having such a big fueling of these of stock buying. When the dollar index goes lower, that makes it easier to buy stocks, especially for foreign investors.
Yep. AMD taking the next leg up here, breaking out of that consolidation area that it's set higher. Check back in on Kura, which looks like it's kind of bouncing all over the place. Spreading out here. Let's see if we can go higher there. There's that bid that I was talking about right at 2010. It looks like another one there at 2003. They took it to the downside.
So we got down to 45 in DWAC. Got some support there. Let's see if it holds. I mean, if we do hold this, I mean, and you're looking to trade this, Ryan, there might be an opportunity here if you want to risk the biscuit.
LAC going higher on DWAC?
Mm-hmm. And
44.38 is what I've got the VWAP at.
And interesting conversation happening in the happy hour chat. And we're discussing the markets continuing to rip like this make it very hard to cut rates. And the market is ripping already on the idea that rates will be cut. So they're moving against their own hopes. If you want the rates to get cut sooner, then there needs to be some significant selling pressure. But the more that markets rip up higher, it makes it harder to cut.
Yep. And that just looks like what we're doing here. I mean, we talked about the market kind of rolling over after the open here. We're right back up to the highs, right? The bounce took us right back to the highs. So we're still doing good broader market wise. Apple near the highs as well here. Netflix still holding its leg higher here.
Oh, the optimism. And, I really would like to see a big market exit after earnings. That would be just amazing.
Voodoo is my friend here. Said, do not touch that stove regarding DWAC. He knows that the FOMO eventually is going to get you. If you play with fire too long, you're going to get burned. Take care of yourself, Judge. It was great to see you again. Thanks for all your support. Hope to catch you soon.
Take care, Judge. Looks like B-Frog had a move over 7. And it's still slow moving, but it's holding that over that right now.
Lynn saying there's still a possibility of another rate increase. One of the reasons they're holding SQQQ, that is a position you must be in the minority on that one. Everyone else seems to think the rates are getting cut.
Well, remember when we spoke with Tom, he was his ecosystem had kind of indicated that some of the folks that were expecting rate cuts now expect further rate cuts, and those that were expecting rates to hold are now expecting increases. There's a big discrepancy between where rates are getting cut, and I think that's going to end up hurting a lot of people that are still on the bullish side.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think that's one of the things that you deal with when you have inflation at 40-year highs. That's just part of the calculus. Real quick here, it is 10:40. We got about 20 minutes left here. We do have something at 11 here today, so no extra hour here today, but a little bit of a teaser for you folks out there. You guys were so awesome yesterday that we might try to do that in the future. So keep it under your hat. We may try to do that. However, today we do have the RAS report at 11. So we are going to be signing off here at 11. However, be sure to stick around for the RAS report. You will automatically be redirected there. In this RAS report, Jason Wild explores TerraSen's financial journey, discussing the impact of the TSX exchange listing, strategic challenges, and opportunities within the cannabis industry. Wild emphasizes the importance of tax strategies and TerraSen's focus on profitability in Michigan. The report provides insights into Todd Harrison's support, highlighting TerraSen's resilience and strategic positioning. So if you're interested in the cannabis market at all, tune into the RAS report coming up here at 11.
EVAX is looking like it's going to take off and looking like it's about to right now. It's starting to curl up, getting some momentum here. There's a big order at 150 that keeps or 1150 that keeps trying to push it down, but it looks like it's getting some good attention. So.
Yeah, this to me seems like it's got 12 written all over it. It has to bounce though.
Yeah, and it's getting quite spready as well.
Real quickly, T squared. I gotta say, asking anyone going to the BZ Cannabis event in Hollywood, Florida. So I don't know my schedule for that cannabis event. I will say I've been to several of the cannabis events, including some of the ones in Miami, as well as Chicago, and they are fantastic. If you're at all interested in that, I highly advise you checking that out. I don't know yet if I'm going there.
What else? Looks like Zim's back above 14. Absolute ripper.
Yeah,
This one,
Zim moving here.
yeah, it looks like this one's about to try to take out 14, 15.
Giddy up. Let's go. Go to the upside. Our swings working. My day trades really have not been great, but the swings both working. So we'll take that. We will take that. You're welcome, T squared. We're still holding in here.
Yep. Yeah, EVAX still above VWAP, but if it gets close to VWAP, I mean, I think that maybe the VWAP trade on this one might have already happened, seeing as how the past 2 5-minute candles were testing it before, and now we're trying to hold above. So just set expectations. This one might not get up very high.
Ryan saying, I'm in Chicago, 3rd till the 9th with work. Good for you. I've been briefly before. What should I check out? Well, it depends what you're interested in. Chicago's got a lot of different stuff for you. If you're looking for a really good dinner, you want to know the best place to get a dinner in Chicago, maybe run into some celebrities, you need to check out Chicago Cut. That is going to be the best steakhouse downtown. Go check that one out. They're not a sponsor. I am not paid by them, but hot damn, is it good. I have no problem speaking highly about that. So check out Chicago Cut if you want a steak dinner. Depending on what else you're interested in, I'm sure you're going to be able to find something. Let me know. Kura breaking down here. We're right at that 20 handle. Looking at this really needs to hold 1930. So I got 1970 here, 1930 on that low print. Really kind of needs to hold that if it wants to go higher here. We roll through 1970. I might rethink this one here. And for a little bit less fancy, Lynn is, of course, telling you need to check out Lou Malnati's, some of the best pizza, and of course Portillo's. There is one downtown.
Just waiting to see if SPRC tries to
take a look,
get above and hold 6. It traded above there briefly, but then it came right back in. Looks like there's some folks don't want this to go above 6. EVAX still going back and forth on the high and low and underside of 11. Zim got up to 14.15 and found resistance. I have to think that it's going to try and push through, though. We'd have to get a pretty good pull in Zim in order for me to think otherwise. But right now, it's looking like it's holding that and wants to go through. Just up at these resistance levels with those 3 and I just mentioned. Looks like LAES is trying to come back as well.
DWAC, Jay, you trying to get me, huh? You guys are trying. Look at it go higher here too. It's all right though. It's all right. We're not going to get upset with it. Ryan saying food and good music venues, bars. Tony's Rooftop Bar would be a good one to go to. The Green Mill might be another one to check out. Depends what kind of music. Check out what is playing live. I would go on check out Chicago or just Google and figure out what kind of live shows are going on. Sorry, 13, go ahead.
No, with DWAC, I was just going to mention to you, if you're trying to look for a good entry into a trade with this one, it seems over the past couple of days, we've found some pretty good support. As soon as it gets down to about 43, somewhere between 43 and 42 is usually where the strongest support was. I know yesterday we did get down to 40, but that seemed like an overshoot. We really had a lot more stronger support at 43 and 42. So if you see it start trading in that range, if you are willing to risk it, that could be a good area to load back up in.
LXRX, someone mentioned this earlier. This actually might have found a bottom here, right? We came into where we pulled earlier today. We're curling back up, maybe towards the VWAP here. LXRX, potential curl play.
Looks like EVAX is
starting to break.
It's starting to break down now. We're below VWAP. Because this was some pretty empty territory that it was moving into here, above 970. So it would make sense if it comes back into that.
SPRC curling through that VWAP. Looks like it's back testing that VWAP.
Yeah,
this one interesting here.
Yeah, SPRC has been trying to get back above and stay above 6 for some time now. That seems like a big level. We get these pops above it, and then it just comes right back in. All right, Zim is through and making new highs now. It's at 1421.
Let's go, Zim.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Zim.
Yeah, I don't think we've fully seen the whole story with the shipping rates. We're not. I don't think we're done with that at all.
Evax here. Jay Summers, you have been hitting this back and forth here today. Good job on Evax.
I see that Mara may be making an
AIRE popping here. What's going on this one? AIRE. A little bit of a volume pop. Don't see anything out there.
Looks like some of these Bitcoin names like Riot and Mara, they're kind of bottoming. It looks like, or they almost made a double bottom, kind of skewed, but that's what that looks like, and they're trying to come back up. Interesting if they could get and they could break out above VWAP, especially Mara.
It's been using VWAP as resistance here today. What is that Bitcoin chart? Let me bring up that Bitcoin chart here. Bitcoin's still kind of in that same area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, things kind of just pulling back here. I mean, even Zim just kind of retreated from that top it just made.
Really quick, we got 12 minutes left here. 13, interrupt me if you have a trade here. By the way, The Rock is on CNBC if anyone cares. I just saw a news print come across the wire here. Can anyone explain to me what the deal is with the hype around the Stanley Cups? I'm not talking about the hockey trophy. I'm talking about these thermos mug things that are all the rage right now. Can anyone explain to me what the hell is going on?
I can.
Please do.
So, and I think it's because my wife likes to talk about her Stanley Cup. She left ice water in there overnight, and it was still ice water when she woke up. Those cups insulate so well that they seem to just keep everything that's cold at a certain temperature. The ice water was still there were still chunks of ice in there after overnight.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
I have. It's called a Yeti. And
yeah, Yetis too.
Okay, so that's kind of what I'm wondering. So Stanley, this looks like the new trendy Yeti. I will say, so here, I just saw a news print come across a New York Post headline: woman arrested for stealing 65 Stanley Cups. 23-year-old. I won't identify her name. But why do that?
Hey,
Alyssa.
I have some input on this too.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the input.
I think it's yes, sure, the Stanley's fine, but there's other cups, even off-brand, that do well enough to keep your ice and drink nice and cold, overnight and everything. I think it's marketing crap, it's in the brains, and especially women. There's ladies out there with 50 Stanley Cups. Okay,
that was the other news. I'm so glad you brought that up, Alyssa. That was the other news that I saw yesterday. I saw a report that this teenager, a wealthy teenager, their parents have spent over $3,000 on Stanley Cups because they come in all of these different colors, including some collectible ones, and she matches them with her outfit.
Yeah, that's it. It's the trend. They like to match, and it's the influencers are probably being paid to push it too.
Is there a stock that we can trade for this? Why? How did we miss this one? How did we miss this one? That's wild. That's absolutely wild. I'm seeing more and more news stories about Stanley Cups. I like it. I like it because I'm a huge hockey fan, and the Stanley Cup, in my opinion, is the best trophy in all of sports. Let me bring up SPRC here.
Yeah, it was just briefly above 6. It looked like it was trying to push. There it is again. It's trying to push to go higher, but there's a big resistance level at 610. There's a lot of sell orders there. We might push through it though. We're starting to get some more bids. So
yeah, maybe we. And I got 616 as the breakout spot here. We'll see. 9 minutes until we go to the RAS report. We'll keep an eye on this. Really appreciate the discussion there in the Stanley Cups. I'll say this. I'm definitely behind the curve when it comes to some of these trendy things. And some of these things that I was reading were so unbelievable. I just had to get a sanity check from you guys. So I appreciate that. Okay. Mervin Yu says it's just like the Supreme trend. It sure is. Oh, what did I do? Oh, okay.
That was super interesting that Alyssa told us that it's a new accessory now. Like you're saying people are matching their
Yes.
clothes to it. So
Yeah.
it's not just shoes and purses anymore. It's now Stanley Cups. Is that what I'm hearing?
There's also this thing where a lot of Gen Z will call it their emotional support cup.
Okay.
So
I mean, what on earth is going on?
so they will have like all their favorite stickers on it, and they will bring it everywhere with them, and it's crazy.
That is crazy. That is absolutely wild.
They just moved on from animals, huh?
Kura rolling over here. I'm going to stop out of this one. We'll see if this gets rolling here again. Did not work there. Again, day trade's not working. Thankfully, the swings are. You guys. I mean, this is. I think I need to get one now, right? Don't I need to have one? I mean, here's the thing. Costco. This is a funny story. Costco sells a competing product. It's called a thermo flask. That's what it says on the side, thermo flask. They sell them in 2 different sizes. They come in 2 packs. They're not very expensive, and that will keep your drink cold overnight, guaranteed. So I guess, we'll see. We'll see if I find a Stanley Cup that, tell you what, if Bettinardi makes a Stanley Cup drop, maybe I'll have to look into getting that one.
Dude.
I mean, this is wild. This is wild.
It is why. I mean, you can go to, like you said, Costco and buy a 2-pack that's like cheaper than a whole Stanley, and
I know
the job.
Oh man, that is okay. Well, appreciate that. Appreciate the discussion there. That's wild. It's a Barbie thing. Yeah, because they make a Barbie pink Stanley Cup. I would imagine that thing, you probably can't even keep that on the shelves.
Have you seen the videos of like the lines at Target, and they open the doors and they just run to the pink Stanley Cups?
No, I haven't seen those videos, and for my own sanity, maybe I shouldn't seek them out.
It's a cup, folks.
Thank you, 13. That's what am I missing here? What am I missing here? Oh man, that's funny though.
I mean, if you need your cup to keep your beverage that cold or warm that long, you're not drinking it fast enough, in my opinion. I know there's other reasons to have it.
Most or half of Gen Z uses TikTok as a primary search engine.
Oh, that's not good.
Stanley Cup. The only way I know how to play is to short Yeti. Okay, well, Jay, first of all, I appreciate you really actually taking that question seriously. I was asking, is there any way that we can play this one? Taking a look at, I don't know. Here's the other thing. I don't know when this trend started, so I don't know how to look back at the chart of Yeti and see if this has actually been affected. Let me see if I can find Stanley Cup brand. It's Stanley, right? Stanley's the brand.
I mean, it's Stanley. I think the trend really, I'd say beginning of January. I mean, it's always been kind of popular with their emotional support cup, but hey, it blew up recently.
These 40-ounces tumblers are $45 a piece. You got the straw and everything. They have 8 billion colors. They have patterns and stuff on them. All right, so Stanley stock ticker. Because I think we're gonna Morgan Stanley. That's not it. Stanley Black and Decker. That's not it.
No,
is it?
No. That's
no. So this is a private company. There's no way we can really. So maybe Jay's right. Maybe shorting Yeti is the exposure to it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I could find when this all started, but I think Alyssa's right. It was earlier this month.
Oh, it all started with TikTok. A Stanley Cup survived a car fire. Okay, now the picture becomes the picture. Was it a Tesla? I just got to know. Was it a Tesla? Was the car fire a Tesla? Because that would be something we really jumped the shark if that's the
was
case.
The ice inside still cold, and was it still there?
Ice inside still cold. Oh man, let me tell you something. That is a commercial and a half right there. If that's the case, holy smokes!
Here's the thing about that. Her car was gone, but the Stanley survived. So I think Stanley replaced her car and a new cup. Whoop-dee. But that's what started it.
Okay, well, let me tell you, that old cup is going on my mantle then, because it got me a free car and a new cup. That's wild. This is
Plug Power looks like it might be trying to go here. It's
thank you for bringing us back to earth here. Plug Power, we're busting about its VWAP. Oh my God.
It's looking like it's trying to push. We're slightly above VWAP, and it's starting to curl.
Look at Kura. Son of a bee, man. It totally just flushed me out. This has been my biggest problem the last couple of weeks. Quick trigger on a stop, and then the thing goes after it. Kura, man, that upsets me. Got to work on that, folks.
Looks like EVAX got to 10, trying to reverse. Still not above VWAP yet. SPRC went lower. Zim just hanging out in there. Yeah, what was that one I was just mentioning? Sorry, I'm all over the place here.
No, you're good. Here's the link here. Here's the link for the 16-year-old that has over $3,000 worth of Stanley Cups in her collection. I don't know what to say.
Be in jail.
I mean, I will say I do love the Barstool headlines. They are quite awesome.
B Frog made its way up to 745.
How is rum doing? Rum, this is not really active here today.
I thought that would have given us a trade today too. Let me take a look at it because I haven't looked at it at all this morning.
Marie's saying PMI Worldwide owns them. What's that? PMI? I don't even know what that is. PMI Worldwide, our brands, PMI.
All right. Looks like iPoint. No.
Yeah, I don't think there's a stock for that either. Okay. Anyway.
Back to the movers. Looks like our RR is halted to the downside. Oh, wow. That's ugly.
Synopsis getting a mention here from Jay. SNPS up 50. Chaikin pick last hour. Interesting here. Synopsis. This has Bill Gates ties, by the way. All right. That we are out of time here for today. I want to make sure I get over to the Raz report so I don't get absolutely slapped for taking time away from Raz. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Alyssa, thank you for the inside knowledge on what is trending and why. I'm afraid, but I'm glad that we're here to sort it out. 13, thank you very much for the assistance in the trading here today. You folks are awesome. I'm going to get 13. Oh, well, you know what? 13, before you get out of here, any closing thoughts on the day, on the trade?
Nope. I think everything we've talked about is just kind of what we got to keep in mind. We're very extended in this market. So probably expect some kind of pullback at some point here. We can't go on like this. Yeah, no, I am in complete agreement. I'll be watching for that too. Not going to be jumping in front of a train or moving train. Anyway, we'll be watching the rest of the market here today. We're going to be back at this again tomorrow. Again, stick around for the Raz report coming up next here. Thanks everybody for joining us. Stay green, stay safe. If I see you in happy hour, I'll see you in happy hour. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.